Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Chemistry World. I'm your instructor Wahaj Khalil. Today's the topic of our lecture is the solution and understanding and explanation of all the 40 MCQs of 2002 examination of Igcse 0620. So stay tuned and watch the video till end. Thanks. And there is only 45 minutes for solving this paper. So it is our question number 1. Heating a liquid causes it to become a vapor. It is the phase change of a liquid into a vapor. So what happens to the molecules of a liquid during this process? The molecules become bigger, or the molecules move further apart. So heating can't cause the change in the shape of a molecule. It can only separate the molecules. So the molecules move further apart is stick, and the molecules become bigger is cross. So it's C. C. The second one is some sugar is dissolved in water. Which diagram shows how the particles are arranged in the solution? Key, the gray one are sugar particles and the white one are water particles. So is it this one? Is it that one? So the sugars are molecules are dissolved completely, as we can see in the diagram B. So we can choose the option B. These are not dissolved. This MCQ number 3. Which stages occur in distillation? What is distillation? First of all, it is a process in which a liquid converts into a vapor by boiling and then convert into again into a liquid by a process of condensation. So first evaporation, then condensation. So it's C. Next page. MCQ number 4. Carbon paraffin is contaminated with soot. Soot means carbon. The soot is removed as shown. So it is paraffin plus soot, and it is a wire grid. It is a piece of cloth, and a clean paraffin is come from here. So the cloth is used, so we can say that it filter the paraffin from soot. So which method is used to remove the soot? Is it cracking? Is it crystallization? Is it diffusion? Or is it filtration? So it is filtration. MCQ number 5. The diagram shows the nuclei of 4 different atoms. The atom Q, atom R, atom S, and atom T. So P for proton and N for neutron here. So the first one is contain 10 protons and 10 neutrons. The second one 10 protons and 12 neutrons. The third one 12 protons and 14 neutrons, and the fourth one 14 protons and 14 neutrons. So the question is, which two atoms are isotopes of each other? So we have to recall the definition of isotopes. What are isotopes? Isotopes are elements that differ in the number of neutrons. So we can say that isotopes have same number of proton and same number of electron, but different number of neutron and different mass. So these two have same number of protons, means same number of neutrons, but different number of neutrons. So these two are considered as isotopes of each other. It's Q and R. It's option number A. Next one is, which atom has twice as many neutron as proton? So these are proton number one here and one here and one either here too. So this is the number of neutron or a proton. It is a math number basically. So it contains one proton and one electron, one proton, one electron, and one neutron. So it contains one proton, one electron, and two neutrons. It contains two protons, two electrons, and two neutrons. So the distance, it is a twice. It is one proton and two neutrons. So we can say that option C. Next one is MCQ number 7. Which change take place when an atom becomes a positive ion? Positive ion means cations. So cations are formed when an electron is removed. So it's option number B. It is a diagram of an electric circuit. And the question is, for which two substances at X and Y does the bulb light up? For the bulb to light up, the X and Y must become a metal or a substance that can conduct electricity easily. The substance that have free number of electrons. So is it copper and graphite? Is it copper and polythene? Is it rubber and graphite? So, and is it rubber and polythene? So we know that the copper and graphite are metals and they have free electrons, so they both can conduct electricity easily. So option A is the answer. Polythene can't conduct electricity. Rubber can't. So option A is the right option. MCQ number 9. One method of producing carbon dioxide is to create calcium carbonate with dilute hydrochloric acid. So this is a reaction between a calcium carbonate, which is limestone, CaCO3, with a carbon dioxide. What is the balanced chemical equation for the reaction? Is it A, CaCO3 plus HCl goes to CaO plus CO2 plus HCl. So what HCl done here? There are both HCl. So the option B, calcium carbonate plus 2HCl, CaCl2. So this equation is balanced and more precise. The third one is also a faulty. So we can say that the option B is a correct one. For the MCQ number 9, it's B. MCQ number 10. A gas has a molecular formula of NOCl. So which diagram could show a molecule of a pure gas, NOCl? N is represented by a dark dot, Cl with white, and O with a gray dot. As we know that the oxygen is from the group number 6, so it needs 2 electrons to complete its octet. So it donate 1 to chlorine and donate 1 to nitrogen. So it must be a central element in a molecule. So where is the gray? So we can see that option B is the correct one. So this is a structure of a butene dioic acid. So what is the molecular formula of butene dioic acid? So first of all, we have to recall the definition of molecular formula. So molecular formula is the actual whole number ratio of element present in a compound. So there are 4 atoms of carbon, 4 of oxygen, and 4 of hydrogen. So the molecular formula is this, C4H4O4. Option B is the correct one for the MCQ number 11. Now the MCQ number 12. The diagram represents the electrolysis. Electrolysis means the breakdown by electricity of barine. We know that barine is sodium chloride's aqueous solution. So it is our cell. We added barine, the chlorine eliminates from this side, the X eliminates from this, and Y from this side. So this chamber is negatively charged, means that this chamber contains positive species. So what are the products of X and Y? Is it hydrogen and aqueous sodium hydroxide? Is it hydrogen and hydrochloric acid? Is it oxygen? So we can't see oxygen in this reaction. So these two are not correct. B for hydrogen, HCl. So in an aqueous solution, how HCl is eliminated? It is also not right. So the option A is the correct one. The MCQ number 13, copper wire in an electricity cable are covered with a plastic. Why is the plastic? It is an insulator, it is a polymer, it is hard, it melts easily. So the option A is the correct one. It is an insulator. It can't conduct electricity. It saves us from a current. So it's A. Now the MCQ number 14. A piece of magnesium is dropped into a test tube containing a dilute hydrochloric acid. And bubbles are produced. So why does the test tube become warm? Hydrogen is produced. The magnesium neutralizes the acid. The reaction is endothermic and the reaction is exothermic. As we know that the endothermic means the reaction which needs heat, and exothermic means the reaction which exerts heat. So the test tube warm because the reaction exerts heat. So it is an exothermic reaction. The option D is the correct one. Now the MCQ number 15. An explosion in a coal mine was caused by the ignition of a mixture of methane and air. So methane is CH4. Air, as we know that it is a mixture of gases. What did the mixture explode? The heat absorbed by burning decreased the rate of burning. It's not, because here the rate of burning decreased. The heat absorbed by burning increased the rate of burning. The heat is not absorbed in that kind of reactions. So the heat liberated By burning, decrease the rate of reaction. Here also the decrease the rate of reaction is not right. So the option D, the heat eliminated or the heat liberated by burning increased the rate of burning. Yeah, that's right. So the option D for the MCQ number 15. MCQ number 16. The diagram shows an experiment to compare the speeds of a reaction when limestone or its chips are added to an acid. So these are four test tubes. First contain a limestone with a concentrated acid. Second contain a chips of limestone with a concentrated acid. Third contain the dilute acid with the limestone, and the fourth contain dilute acid with a chips of limestone. So what is the question here? In which test tube is the reaction most rapid? So we have to recall the conditions for the reaction, the conditions that affect the rate of reaction. So we know that more the surface area, more the rate of reaction, more the concentration of a substance, more the rate of reaction. So here is the surface area maximum, here is the concentration also maximum. So option B is the right choice for the MCQ number 16. For the MCQ number 17, which properties does a transition element have? So what are transition elements? We have to recall that the transition elements are those which are present in the block D of the periodic table. These are all metals with positively charged, and they are with high density and high melting point. So the option A is the correct one. For the MCQ number 18, which metals can be obtained by heating their oxides with carbon? Copper, yeah, copper, iron, right, magnesium, no, magnesium can't be obtained by heating its oxide with carbon. So the metals that obtained by the reaction their oxides with carbon are transition metals. So here the transition metals are copper and iron. They are obtained from heating their oxides with metal, but magnesium can't. So the option B is the right choice. An aqueous lead-2 nitrate is added to a solution containing iodide ions. Lead iodide is formed. Which type of reaction is that? Is it a neutralization? Is it a oxidation? Is it a precipitation? And is it a reduction? So we know that the reaction between acid and base that produces a salt is neutralization. So it is not a neutralization. As we know that oxidation means loss of electrons, gain of oxygen, and increase in the oxidation state. So their oxidation states are not changed in the reactions. So it is not oxidation. Now what is precipitation? Some precipitates are produced during the reaction. It would be a right option. D, reduction. Reduction is the gain of electrons, the loss of oxygen, and decrease in the oxidation states. So there is no change in the oxidation states, so not a reduction. So it's option C for the MCQ number 19. MCQ number 20, which element react with dilute sulfuric acid to produce an hydrogen gas? A carbon, B a chlorine, C a copper, or a zinc. So when we see a sulfate, it is a di-basic. So option D, zinc sulfate. we know about the zinc sulfate. So this option is the right one. Zinc sulfate is produced when zinc reacted with the dilute sulfuric acid. Why not copper? It produces, but when the acid is not dilute. It produces when the acid is concentrated. Chlorine and carbon, these are not metals. For which pH change is there the greatest or the largest increase in acidity? As we know that the lower the pH, the more the acidity. The greater the pH, the more the acidity. So option number 6, 6 to 2. It is largest increased in the acidity. So option number D is the right one for the MCQ number 21. Which statement about the electrical conductivity of non-metals and the charge on their ions is correct? About non-metals. Electrical conductivity of non-metals are poor, as we already know that, and all non-metals are contain which charge. So we know that the metals contain positive and the non-metal contain negative. So the option D is the right option for MCQ number 22. Here the MCQ number 23. The corrosion of iron and its extraction from hematite. Hematite, what is hematite? Fe2O3 or Fe3O2? Three oxygens can donate up to 6 electrons and 2 oxygens donate 4 electrons and Fe2O3. So which terms describe the corrosion of metal and its extraction from hematite? For the corrosion, oxidation is added to corrode a metal. Oxidation for the corrosion, and extraction, it is a reduction. It is the gain of electron by metal to become a separate species. So option B is the right one. MCQ number 24. A few drops of aqueous bromine are added to separate aqueous solution of potassium chloride, potassium bromide, potassium iodide, KCl, KBr, KI. So which solutions do not remove the color of bromine? So we can see option A, B, C and D. KBr and KCl. KBr and KCl are above bromine, and KBr is KBr, Cl is above bromine, so these can't remove its color. So option A is the right one. Here Ki is present, here Ki is present, here Ki is present, so these three options are not correct. Which metal produces a solution of metal hydroxide when added to water? Is it a calcium? Is it copper? Is it iron? Is it zinc? So the next three, B, C, and D are transition elements, and the option A is the most reactive one. So option A is the right option for metal oxide. Calcium, CaOH, calcium hydroxide. The highly reactive metal is likely to form a negative ion. This may be occur naturally as an element. This can't occur only as an oxide. If a metal is very reactive, it oxidizes rapidly in air. So option D is the right option. The diagram shows the manufacture of steel. Gas X, we have to detect which gas is added. So what would gas X be? For the manufacture of steel, we have to remove CO2 from the iron, so we have to add oxygen. So it's option D. A student write the following statement: Aluminium is used to manufacture an aircraft bodies. That's right. Aluminium is used to make stainless steel. It is not right. Mild steel is used in the manufacture of car bodies. Yeah, it is right. Which statements are correct? So option 1 and 3 are correct. So the option B is the right option for MCQ number 28. Which substance is used in the purification of water? Is it calcium sulfate? Is it carbon dioxide? Is it chlorine? Is it sodium chloride? For the purification of water, as we know, when we are going to a swimming pool for swimming, a lot of chlorine can irritate our eyes. For the protection of our eyes, we are using glasses. So chlorine is the right one. For the purification of water, they added chlorine. Which pollutant found in car exhaust fumes does not come from the fuel? Does not come from the fuel means which is not present in a petrol or diesel. Is it carbon monoxide? Is it hydrocarbon? These are present. Is it a lead compounds? These are also present if the fuel is not unleaded. Nitrogen oxides are come from the air. So it is the right option. It is not present in a fuel. So option D is the correct one. Which place of the map, option number 31, on the map is mostly likely to be producing large quantities of sulfur dioxide, SO2? C, no. A farm, not coal-fired power station. So when we are discussing a theoretical lecture, we study that the coal field power station produces large amount of SO2. So option B is the right one. C is water purification plant. So it is not correct. Petrol station in village, not correct. Option MCQ number 32. Why does a bicycle chain that is coated with oil not rust? Oil dissolved any rust that forms? Option number A. Option B, oil react with rust causing oxidation. Option number C, oil react with oxygen so no rust forms. So we know that oil can't react with oxygen. So option D, oil stops oxygen and water getting to the chain. So it is the right one. Option D. Which two other compounds should be added to ammonium sulfate to make complete NPK fertilizer? So when we study fertilizer, we study that KNO3 means potassium nitrate and sodium Na2HPO4 are used to complete this. So option A is the right one. Now MCQ number 34. Two oxides are burning acetylene in welding. Two uses of oxygen. Burning acetylene, welding, helping the breathing of hospital patients. So the question is, which of these uses forms carbon dioxide. Which of these uses produce carbon dioxide? So we know that the burning always produces CO2. So the first use of oxygen produces a carbon dioxide, and second one, helping the breathing of hospital patients. When the patients inhale oxygen, they exhale carbon dioxide as well. So it also produces carbon dioxide. So the both the uses produces carbon dioxide. So the option is the right one. Lime. What is lime? CaO is lime, is used to treat an industrial waste. Untreated waste, lime, and is treated waste. So which pH change occurs in the treatment? When the lime treated the waste become neutral, and the wastes are mostly acidic. So the option A is the right option. The MCQ number 36, a compound Q has a structure shown. So the structure contains about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 carbon atoms. And OH group, as we know that OH is a functional group of alcohols. So what is the name of Q? It's heptanol. C, option C. Now the MCQ number 37. A student sets up the operators shown to separate petroleum into its different liquid parts. How a petroleum is separated? Why does this method of separation work? Because of the densities of petroleum, because of functional groups, because of melting points, or because of boiling points? Because of boiling points, because at different temperatures the petrol and the petroleum boils. After different temperatures we condense them and separate them from other parts. Which row in the table correctly shows properties of decane? What is decane? It is a hydrocarbon. It burns. Is it unsaturated? So it's decane. It contains about C10 and H24. The molecular formula of alkane is H2N plus 2. If we are 10 here, so 2 10s are 20 plus 2 is it's 22, H22. So this is a general formula of an alkane. So it is an alkane. Alkane contains all single bonds. Alkane is not unsaturated. Alkane is saturated. Alkane burns and it is saturated. So the option number B is correct option. The MCQ number 39. The equation shows the cracking of a petroleum. As we had learned about, cracking is the breaking of chain for our benefits. So the cracking contains and produces Y and Z. So which compound are unsaturated? As we know that the means of unsaturated. Unsaturated means any double bond is present between the compounds. So it is a double bond. So the Y only. So B option is correct. Student states that ethanol reacts with water to form beer and wine. Ethanol and water are solvents. The two words are underlined. Which of the underlined words are correct? Reacts or solvent? So we know that ethanol plus water, there is a no reaction. So but it dissolves in it. It dissolves in water. So they are solvents, but they can't react. So the option number C is the correct one. Now we can see the time here. It is 37.42 seconds, and we have to solve this paper. We have 45 minutes. We only use 37 minutes by reading and explaining slowly. So we can easily solve all the 40 MCQs in 45 minutes. In 37 minutes we can explain and solve. So that's it for our today's lecture. If you like that video, please share, subscribe, and don't forget to press the bell icon. Thanks.